Today's warm-up is going to use knowledge from yesterday on what union means. So the stamp question says state the domain and range using interval notation. So remember that as soon as union is involved, we're really not ever going to try to do set notation with the curlicues and the inequalities. We're strictly going to work with a combination of brackets and parentheses. And how do you draw the union symbol? What does that look like? A U. Perfect. So let's do our domain first. What's my domain? Pencils down. What's my domain? Who's got the first piece? Negative infinity. To where? Oop, my bad. Yes, that's a -3. If you need to add a negative, go ahead, but don't change anything else. What kind of notation should be next to this -3? Y parenthesis. Fantastic. Open circle. And do you have anything filling in the hole? No. Good. Now what? Union. Good. -1. Is this going to have a bracket, parenthesis, bracket? Very good. That's a closed-in circle. -1 to where? Five. So remember, domain is all about which values, x or y? X. Yes, Cassie. Ha ha ha. Good catch. Thank you. Miss J has not finished her coffee. What did I do by accident? Where was I looking? The y-axis. Good job. And if anyone had -3, again, what were you doing that I just did by accident? Looking where? The y-axis. Very good. Okay. Range. What do we have for the range? -3. Good. Bracket, parenthesis. Bracket. Bracket, closed circle. Union. Keep going. Go for it. 3. What goes next to the 3? Parenthesis or bracket? Parenthesis. Open circle. And then why is this not 4? That arrow keeps going and going. So if it helps, always extend your arrow. Great job. What belongs next to this infinity sign? Great job. So whoever has theirs 100% right, no changes, Missy will come around with a stamp. Raise your hand. And while she does that, let's pick up where we left off on our increasing, decreasing notes from yesterday. So let's recap. What does it mean for something to be increasing? Going up, but we have, yes, you're totally correct, very good, but we have to be careful. Going up, reading the graph from what direction to what direction? So increasing is going up left to right. So decreasing is going down, again, left to right. That is the key. We always read, just like you read English words left to right, we interpret or we read graphs left to right always. If you need, we're going to use 2 color highlighters. We'll use one for increasing, one for decreasing. So if you don't have 2 colors, Missy, there's a box of highlighters underneath the podium we can borrow. But again, for the purpose of your homework, dollar store, you get 5 colors for $1. Okay? Get those highlighters. We all have our notes from yesterday. Let's all be on the same page. It would be nice. You don't have to. You can change it up. We're just going to always dedicate one color to increasing and one color to decreasing. Okay. So to recap where we left off at the end of yesterday's class, we talked about where do I see the graph increasing, and we highlighted that in one color. So left to right going up, left to right going up. Decreasing, left to right going down. We had one section of the graph that applied to. Something that I really want to stress today, increasing, decreasing, applies to x values only. X values only. Which is why in the directions for 3 and 4, did you notice it says here, describe the x intervals in which the graph is increasing, describe the x intervals in which the graph is decreasing? So for increasing and decreasing, we only pay attention to, what again? Remind me. Just x. You're not looking up and down at all, just left and right. Let's talk about number 1 and 2. So we do have the ability to analyze our graph. Number 1 says, when x equals -6, what is the value of y? So where should I look on my graph right now? On which axis? X, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -6. And now let's answer. What is the value of y? Where are you? On the y-axis here. That's it. Done. So for number 2, when y equals 3, what's the value of x? Guess where I'm going to go first. Where? Y-axis, go to 1, 2, 3. What's the value of x? That's it. That's it. What's up? Yep, 0. Any questions on 1 and 2? Not bad, right? Pretty good? Okay. Describe the x intervals in which the y values are positive. Now this is an interesting question. So for numbers 5 and 6, because then this is the same question, but instead of positive, what is it asking? Negative. Okay. What's another way of saying f of x? Nope. Y. So put this in a little mental bubble that these mean the same thing. Let's think about that question. Describe the x intervals, so I'll be looking left and right again, in which all y values are positive. Where is y positive? Think about that. If I gave you let's just draw a basic 4-quadrant graph, and I asked you on this graph, I have no number, I have no graph on here, but where is y positive? Who remembers how to number the quadrants? What's this one? Good. So now we have some language. Where on this graph is y positive? 1. Let me put it in green. We usually associate positive with green. Positive in 1 and 2. And where is y negative? So that is what you mentally have to have in mind. Because watch what we're going to say. If you apply this knowledge, you're literally cutting this graph in half. A positive half and a negative half. Yes? With me so far? Positive half, negative half. So if you were to cut this graph in half, and I asked you, Where is the graph positive? Where would that be? Give me a starting, yes, the top. And that happens in two places. Let me see if I can be crafty here. Nope, that's not going to work. I want a shade. Can I get a shade? Shade, shade, shade. Screen shade. Ha! Check that out. That is my positive half. You told me that y's are positive in quadrants 1 and 2. So what this is asking you right now is to pay attention to where is this? How would you describe this as an x interval? And right here. Those are my two positive pieces. So where would that be? What's my first positive interval? Negative 1, 2, 3, negative 3 to where? 6. So let's add that to our answer, and then I'll put the shade back. So negative 3 to 6 is 1. Both brackets, because I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, those are both solid dots. Okay, so that's one piece. Where's this other little itty bitty little piece? 10 to 11. And again, both ends of that are going to have a what? Yes. And 10 to 11. How are you going to figure out where y is negative? Yeah, so I don't know if I can move my shade, but if it helps you to see it, literally like fold the top of your paper over so that it covers the top half of the graph. Can I, Julia, can I borrow yours? So check it out. Literally, you could go like this. I'm not going to crease it, I promise. Like that. So how many intervals am I looking for? 2. So either cover with your hand, fold your paper over, but you literally want to pretend like only which quadrants exist? 3 and 4. Go for it, and then we'll compare answers. Yeah, check that out. Who's got my first decreasing interval? I've heard from Cassidy, I've heard from Winta. Who else can help me out? Yes, go ahead. Negative 6 to negative 3, is she right? Yes, she is. Negative 6 to negative 3. And where else? Jasmine? Perfect. 6 to 10. Nice job. Are there any y-intercepts? Let's see if I can get rid of this shade. Where are my y-intercepts? How would you write that as an ordered pair? 3, 0 or 0, 3? 0, 3. So here's my y-intercept, where the graph crosses the y-axis. Only have 1. How about some x-intercepts? How many are there? 3. Where's the first one? Negative 3, 0. Next. 6, 0. One more? Good. So we have negative 3, 0, 6, 0, and 10, 0. And now take a giant step back and just look at the whole graph. What's my domain and range? -6 to 11. And my range? -3. -3 to 4. Good job. We're done with this. So now take a second and look at your homework. Or have it out. Because what we're about to answer about the question... Where did this come from? Can I see the back of the notes? Okay, good, it matches. This note question is a lot like what you were asked to do in the homework, correct? So as we do this one, take a look at your homework, and if something isn't matching up, Miss C is here to help, just like I am. So go ahead and raise your hand, she'll come over and work with you as we go over this. So what color highlighter do you want me to make increasing? Ooh, hold on, let's see our options. Then we can vote. Ah, okay, I have blue. Do you want blue? Okay, so for me, increasing is going to be blue. I'm not going to, if I wanted to print these for you, it would make this all gray. So for me, I'm highlighting above, but I want you to actually highlight your word. Pick a color, commit. Increasing is going to be what color for you, and highlight that word. I'm going to highlight where it's increasing on my graph. You highlight where it's increasing on yours, and then we'll compare. Again, left to right, going up. Do we match? Good. Decreasing, pick another color. What color do you want? We've got yellow, green, or pink. Decreasing, decreasing. I have 2 intervals. Constant means what? Stays the same, not going anywhere, flat ground. So you can either circle that, or if you do have a third color, use a third color. For the purpose of my notes that will go online, I'm going to make it green. So we're going to pretend like this was a quiz question. Go ahead and identify increasing, decreasing, and constant, and then we will compare. And if you want to check in with a neighbor, feel free. Or check in with Miss C. She makes a great neighbor. When you're ready, let's see if we match. When you're ready, no rush, take your time, think. It definitely helps to count and label so you don't lose track of the numbers you count. Oh. How do we do? Thumbs up, fantastic. Halfway, so-so, all the way down, oh no. I need votes. Half of you are voting. Jasmine's gonna vote. Jasmine, do I get a thumbs up? Not even close. Not even like half. Half? How much do we match? So why is that's not the thumbs up? Yay for math. A period. Okay. So let's look at your homework now. Okay, we're gonna compare answers for the front. Yes. Yeah. Right. So we could write in set, but we're just gonna focus on interval. Okay. You could easily take. It's a valid question. Since you're saying on Khan Academy, it wants you to do set notation, but for our purposes, I know that you know set. So I know that you could take each of the intervals you have and go for it. But for speed purposes, in terms of time being effective with our time, interval is just way faster. So can we all see this, or do we need the lights off? Ladies, Diana, can you shut the lights off for me? We're going to scroll through answers for the front, and then we'll talk about the back. So if something is wrong, or something doesn't match up just right, make sure we understand why. And if you have a question, definitely let me know, please, and we'll talk about it. Yes, Adesola. Good question. This is not my answer key. This is another teacher's, so I will let her know. I would say that that should be a bracket. It almost looks like it was a bracket, right? I think that's her way of saying that that is a bracket. Are we ready for 4, 5, and 6? Yes. For right here? Increasing. So why is this not a negative 8? Remember, definition of increasing is left to right going up. Watch. Left to right going up. So that's where your mind can play games on you. We have to go back to that fundamental definition. Left to right. If you put a guy on this line, how would he be walking? Uphill. So from here to here is increasing. Good question. Ready for the next 3? I'm not sure why we have parentheses all over. I would agree that this should be bracket, bracket. Decreasing. So here she's using the U as saying and. Same thing. Union means and. This and this. So if you use the word and, I would take that as well. This also could be, now I'm trying to think of why she would have parentheses everywhere. It could be that for her class, she's just asking them to pull the x values and is accepting parentheses on both ends. I want us to continue to practice. If we see an open circle, it should be a parenthesis. If it's closed, it should be a bracket. Taisha, did that answer your question? Okay, okay, good. We good? Great. Let's talk about the back. Can I switch to the back? So this was a graph that you already actually had on the front, right? But now we're just asking some more questions about it. When x equals -4, what's the value of y? -1. Good. When f of x equals 1, that's the same as saying what? What is... Yeah, so mentally picture that as y. So when y equals 1, what's x? And 2. There are two places where that happens. 0 and 2. The way that I saw that, mentally I'm looking here and here. So when y is 1, that occurs when x is 0 and when x is 2 at both locations. State the x intervals in which the y values are positive. Do you want to take a second to update that? So that's where mentally you're going to put a shade. We do need to account for that little value over here. Where is that on the x-axis? I don't want to have to move the shade to put the answer, so I'm just going to put it up here. So positive y occurs where? How do I just indicate that one point? And instead of saying, you can either write and, or we can use the union symbol. Where else? Uno más. One more. Bingo. Let's move our shade. Oh, am I good to move the shade? I didn't mean to change that on you too fast. Can I move the shade? Good? Come on. Up, up. No. It's not cooperating. Maybe if I go like that. There we go. Decreasing, or sorry, not decreasing. Negative y. Where are my negative y's? Should I see this as one piece or two separate pieces? What do you think? It's just one. It's one piece. If I'm looking down and up, I'm more thinking the whole increasing, decreasing, right? But that's not what this is talking about. This is just saying where is the graph negative. So I just need to know what is this interval from here to here. From here to here. And I got one more, and that would be bracket 1, 2, parenthesis. Very good. Take a second to check your y-intercepts, x-intercepts, domain, and range. solid dot? Good question. Who's got my y-intercept? Good. My x-intercepts? And the last one was 1, 0, you said? And who's got domain? Somebody else. Domain. I've heard from Cassidy. A new voice. Cherise? Hi. What'd you get for domain? Big picture. Sure. Tell me what you got. Say that louder for me. I'm sorry. -5 to 3? But I think you're just off by 1. When I come in from the right side, where am I? 4. So let's change that 3 to a 4. And then you're right. Why did I not have to worry about this hole right here? That closed dot fills that one in. It covers for it. This ordered pair, 2, 1, exists, yes? So 2, that x value 2, does exist. If this was open and this was open, what would I have to use? Union. Then the hole is for real. Nothing is filling anything in. But I don't have that happening, so I can straight up say, if I wanted to do my set notation, -5, was that a closed circle on -5? Yes. So -5 to 4, which would be the same as -5, 4 in brackets. Fantastic. Somebody else. Who's got my range? Who's got the range? Yes, Brittany. -3, I agree with the yep, both. Nice job. -3 to 3. And let's go and check. We're going to write this, but what should we go double check? Oops. Not a trick question. We should double check that all of our open circles are accounted for, right? Because we're looking big picture from the bottom, from the top. But now we just got to do a little bit of an analysis. Any open circles here? No. I do have one right here, but what does this solid dot do for it? Fills it in. Yes. Yes. This is the graph that I'm given. This being filled and this being open there's no connection. This is just the graph that is presented. They're not connected. Does that make sense? There's nothing about this closed circle that would have to make this open. This graph could have easily been given with an open circle here, an open one here. This could keep going and have an arrow. Pandora's box of graphs. Okay? So take whatever graph you're given literally at face value. It is what it is. Good question. Any other questions? Okay, great. Let's take our quick type 2. Like I said, it's one side of one page. It's about hot air balloons. How exciting. Leave your highlighters out on your desk so that you can use them.